Suzanne's Paparazzi Jewelry, 24/7 shopping available. 160920 is the code. Show her some love, like she showed us. K&A Custom Crafts on Facebook.
Welcome to the Any Key Radio Show. I'm your host, Kenny Any Key Moore. The Any Key Radio Show is the place and platform for independent creatives where I interview and spotlight the work of independent creatives in all genres of entertainment. Today we're going to get into the creative work of writing. I have a guest that's going to join me to talk about her career in writing and the new play that she has coming out. So before she joins me, let me tell you a little bit about her. My guest today is Annetta Swift. She's an author, playwright, and child advocate out of the Atlanta area. She has a new play called Danger Zone that comes out this month. And now she's coming on to join me to talk about it. Let's bring her in. Netta,
Hey.
welcome to the show. Thank you for joining me. Hey,
Kenny. How are you?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm well. Glad to be here talking about the play. I'm excited about that. Yeah.
As you should be. I saw the preview and it looks like high drama.
A lot of drama. That's the only time I try to do dramas on the stage.
I hear you. You and me both. So listen, I always like to ask this question to creative people because it's interesting to hear their answer. So the question is this: tell me about your earliest memories of when you first fell in love with writing.
Oh my goodness. So fell in love with, I guess, with me writing personally, I've always liked the stage and theater in school, but I didn't start writing till like 2001. So I was adult, I was married, I had a baby, everything. So I guess I started then as I began to unravel stories and I would get downloads. It was just amazing how things would unfold. So I guess that's my earliest memory of actually enjoying the process of writing because of the revelations that I would get, or like going to sleep, having a dream, and that being the end of a chapter or a story or something. So, yeah.
Wow. So as you fell in love with writing, when did you decide that you wanted to start writing books?
That's where it started. I know you remember Troy Sanders.
For sure.
So in 97, he came to my church at that time, and it was a banquet, November 15th, 1997. I'll never forget it. And, you don't have altar calls at banquets, you know what I mean?
Right.
So Troy calls me up like, can I pray for you? So I'm like, who's this little kid trying to pray for me? Because, he's a teenager.
Right. Yeah.
He was like, okay, whatever. So I went up there, and he began to prophesy with me. And one of the things he said was that he was releasing the gift of the ready writer upon me. And he said, you write in a journal now, but I see you writing books. I see you writing novels. I see you writing plays. And I kind of laughed, with Rhonda, your cousin, and some other people. We kind of snickered at it, even though I felt it resonated within me. But I kind of laughed at it. That was in 97. And in 2001, I was at another church. And the pastor was talking about God. Everything that is going to produce our wealth is already within us. And he was saying, stir up the gift that's in you. And I'm thinking, I ain't got no gifts. At that time, I had a daycare in my home. So I had like 6, 7 children. I was doing pretty good with that. So, and then I remember the prophecy that Troy had given. So I said, let me try it. So I literally got to my computer and I started writing, and I just never stopped. So like, I can't even take credit for it. You know what I mean? I feel like
totally
I'm God's secretary. Yeah. So I just get downloads and I write. So, I mean, some of it comes from my creativity, but most of it, like, it just pours out and I'm just writing what I hear.
I get it. So, like, you have an extensive catalog of books that you've written, and you gave them the category of novelettes, which I thought was a super cool title. So what inspired you to go that route with the books that you did?
You've been digging all in my website. You did your homework, sir. I see. I'm like, how you know? At first they were called novels, and once I found out it depends on the page count. So I do have some books that are upwards of 150 pages, and then I have some that are more like 70 pages, short stories. So they don't call those novels; they call them novelettes or novellas. So
Okay, got it. That's
So once I found out and I knew to do better, I did better.
Hey, you know, as the saying goes, when you know better, you do better.
Yeah. So I was trying to take credit for being, the writer of Jaws, which was like a million pages. I didn't write those many pages, but yeah, it's a full story though in all the books. Yeah.
Definitely. So you transition from writing books to writing plays.
Wow.
So talk about that transition and then the difference between writing books and writing plays.
So back in 2005, actually 2004, when I went to the church that I attend now, we had a different pastor, and they needed a skit written for a commercial they want, not commercial, but an announcement they wanted to do, but they didn't want to offend people. So they was like, well, we could just write a little skit and let people act it out. So they was like, Netta, you can write the skit. I was like, I don't write skits, I write books. They was like, and so Pastor Chris said, if you can write a book, you can write a
Right.
skit.
True.
You can write a play. I was like, no. And so we did it, and it went over so well. So actually, me and my best friend did characters we do. Hattie and Essie, the old lady characters. We do. So we did that, and it kind of just took a life of its own. So that's where that started. And then we started doing little skits for the church. I took over the drama team in 2005. And then after we did this one particular play, we did a dinner theater. And after it went over so well, the house was packed. And he was like, yo, this is tight. Let's take it to the Jonesboro Civic Center, which is actually the Clayton County PAC. And he asked the church would they support. And then they was like, yes. I was like, I ain't never wrote no play. Like, what you doing? He was like, if you did this, you could do it there. So I'm like, oh my God, what I'm going to do. And God told me everything that I know about playwriting and producing a production. God taught me, like nobody taught me, because I didn't know nobody to reach out to. Yeah, That's crazy. And so we did 1 year, packed house, 1,200 seater. We were packed at capacity like at 900. My first play in 2007 at the PAC. And then every year, he would do it every year. And it just took over from there. And then after that, after about 7 years, I did my first screenplay, which is not out yet. But I turned the screenplay into a play because, I didn't have a budget to do a movie at that time. So, yeah.
Wow. So you literally learned, this is totally, everything that you're doing now is God inspired. Was there anybody that you, in terms of writers or in terms of playwrights that you looked at or you kind of gleaned from that helped to inspire or to influence your writing style?
Of course, once I saw Tyler Perry, my style is similar but not the same. Like, we don't write the same, but like, I guess our edge and our message is similar. We tell a universal story, so it reaches everybody. So, but they call us the Chitlin Circuit. Or whatever.
Well,
yeah, exactly. So we know how that is. But anyway, with that, it was kind of like him. I saw what he was doing. This is before the movies and all that stuff. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. But I never thought I would be doing it on that scale. People always say, oh, girl, you just like Tyler Perry. I think even Pastor Chris, one day was like, this is the next Tyler Perry when he introduced to me at the end of a play. But I just never, thought I would be doing it. But I would watch Tyler stuff. I like Toni Morrison. I was more into the movie thing. Remember, because I know I was talking to you before, back when we did a book signing back in, was that Maryland?
Yeah.
At Rhonda's conference. And I was talking about the books always being movies. So I never inspired to do plays. That was never a desire of mine. My pastor wanted it, so I did it for him. But once I started doing it, I realized I need this experience if I'm gonna deal with movies, for me anyway.
Definitely.
So playwriting, I just looked at movie people, looking at like, Steven Spielberg and Toni Morrison, man, with the, what's her book, Waiting to Excel, which became a movie. So those kind of things, Color Purple, which was once a book that came a movie. So that's where my vision was set for, never to do plays. Now I'm like, oh, let's do some plays. Let's travel with the plays. But so I never really had mentors that I followed. It was always the movie directors, like I said, Steven Spielberg, Stephen King, like they're brilliant geniuses,
Definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah.
That's cool stuff. So let's talk a little bit more about, plays now that you've kind of done some productions and gotten them under your belt and gotten some experience with them. Talk about the work that goes into putting on a production. Talk about the behind the scenes work and the production work that it takes to actually put out a play.
It's a lot of work. Everybody come to the show and a lot of people want to be in the play. Like, oh, I want to do that because it seems fun. It seems like we just get on the show, we just talk and whatever. Like, the first part of it is lines, learning lines. Like that's like, I look at the people, the cast that's in this play right here. It's like amazing that I wrote it, but I wrote it in a session or two. They are learning these words. I don't remember what I wrote. I know what I want to see, but I remember what I wrote. So the learning of the lines, the rehearsals, it's a lot of work that they put in. They put hours and hours and months. Like people don't know that. And a lot of people don't have the patience for it. Because like once you do the scene, like people are like, okay, that's it. No, we got to do it over and over and over, perfect it, change it. So that's one of the biggest parts, besides the auditions, people learning the lines, having the rehearsals. But beyond that, like doing a production like this, you got to think about what's going to happen at the show. Like you need ushers. You know what I'm saying? People don't think about
Definitely.
that. You need
Support
a sound guy. Who going to do the mics? Then you got to get microphones if the facility doesn't have them. Stuff like that. Security, just in case, if you're in a building at nighttime, you don't know who's going to come in. You don't know who's going to be in the building, what could pop off. Cleaning crew, like everything like that. Prop people, stage manager, man. I've been fortunate to have the best stage managers all throughout what I've been doing. At first, though, I did it all myself. I didn't know that I was supposed to delegate it, give it to people. You need ticket people you can trust to collect money. That ain't gonna, who you gonna get to count your money? So I've had one girl all this time that's been doing it every production. So it's stuff like that goes into it, that people wardrobe, what y'all gonna wear, how many sets of clothes you change, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
who's gonna do makeup, you know what I'm saying? Like all of that, like where you getting your props from, what props does it have to be delivered, do you need a set built? It is a lot of work and a lot to consider. How you promoting it, all of that is, it can be overwhelming at times, especially now when I'm like 2 weeks out before the play, and everything is coming together, but it just can be like little things pop up. They call them hiccups or little bumps in the road. Like, God, I didn't think about that. But when you're doing a production, I believe, especially when God is with you, he'll bring things to your remembrance, or he'll allow somebody to ask, hey, what are we going to do about this? And it'll, all come together. It'll all come together, but it's a lot of work. It's more than the acting, more than the learning lines. Music, where your music coming from? Is it copyrighted? Are there going to be copyright infringements? Can we sell the DVDs? Who's recording? Who's your photographer? Huh?
Listen,
all of that.
There's a reason that it's called a production, because it takes all of those different aspects. So let's talk about actually, before we get into the new play, let me ask you one more question about your writing. How do you, when it comes to writing your plays, talk a little bit about your writing process in terms of how you write your plays. Talk to me about how you, just your process and how you come up with your material.
My process is the same as the book writing. For me, it's like I get an idea, plan it in me. If somebody can say something, I can hear a phrase, and they're like, whoa, that'll be a good story. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And from there, you develop your characters. How many people are going to be in the play? Now I'm learning. You don't want, like at the church, when it's a church production, You don't want to tell nobody no, so everybody gonna be in place. Even if they're just sweeping the floor or walking past, ain't nobody gonna not. And I know that's wrong grammatically, but there's not anyone that's going to be turned away. Well, now it's like you have a budget. How many people will be in it? So we need to play with 8 people. That's my play now. 8 people. I have some extras now, but for the most part, 8 people. And then you like get their names. Who are they going to be? You know what I'm saying? Who's the hero of the play? Who's the villain? The victim? All of that. And then when I do it, because you got to think about scene changes. How many scene changes you want? Do you want to have to do that? So I go along with that lines, and then I start writing. I just start writing as it comes, and then sometimes I change. And then even in the grand scheme of writing it, in my head I'll see, like for instance, I've had little children in the play, and so I see a little boy, but nobody that's a male audition. So guess what? The little boy becomes a little girl. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That type of thing. But basically character development, writing the lines, the cues for the light people, sound, like you know what music you want your music inputted. If there's gonna be music, lights, you know, are they outside? Where are they at? You know, trying to make it make sense and tell your story. You have to tell a good story. So
on average, about how long does it take you to write a play?
It just depends. I've written plays in a day.
Wow.
Taking weeks before.
Well, how about, let's talk about Danger Zone. How long did it take you to write that?
Well, I actually wrote Danger Zone for another production. And I think it was like maybe just a few months. It didn't take long. Okay. And after, you know, I was like, well, I wanted to do it for myself, but I kind of put it away because I was like, I'm not going to do the play thing no more. I'm not writing anymore. I kind of stepped back from the play writing and being over the drama team at my church. So we passed the baton. And then shortly after that, Rodney had the idea of, you know, getting with some investors. Let's do it on our own. And I was like, nah, we're not doing that. And so, yeah, let's do it. Why not? And so here we are.
So that actually leads me to my next question. So talk to me about how this production came about, and touch on or give us a little sneak peek or a little insight into what Danger Zone is.
How the production came about was kind of like what I was just saying. I pretty much said I didn't want to write no more. Nothing seemed to be moving. You know what I'm saying? The books, got all these books, they right here. Did all these plays, kind of lost my fire for writing the plays. It was like, okay, I think it needs to be another flavor or someone else over it at the church. It seemed to flow better, you know, somewhere. Sometimes you can only go as far as you can go. And releasing that and kind of having some disappointments in the midst of that, I just was like, I'm not doing it no more. And one day I was talking to one of my nieces, Tiana, and she was telling me, you know, Auntie, sometimes you got to make your own way. And I was like, I ain't making no way. Like, no, it's just, I knew the expense that went behind it. Sure. Though I never asked my church to do it. Pastor Chris and Pastor Tuck as well, they wanted to continue to do it. Pastor Chris was like, we're doing this every year. And I was like, Pastor Chris, it costs too much. Because, you know what I'm saying? It's a big expense to rent the theater. Absolutely. Like, let's do it at the church. Absolutely. We got 1,200 seater, 1,500 seater at the church. Let's do it at the church. But he wanted to take the message outside of the 4 walls.
That's great.
And so with all of that, the expense of it was like, nah. We can't do this, Rodney. Like I was telling my niece I can't do it on my own. And so then I talked to who's my now executive producer. We were talking about some things. We went to some investors and it didn't go too well. Well, it didn't go bad, but they didn't say yeah. So it's like, well, never mind. Maybe this ain't what we're supposed to do. And December of 2019, my husband said, hey, let's do this on our own. We can do this. I was like, I don't want to write no more. I don't want nothing else to do with it. I'll just go to church, do what I do at church, and that's it. And he said, no, if I can get some money, that's some writing. We're not touching money in the house. That's gonna put us in a bad place. And so he said, if I can get some investors, will you do like you did for the church? Just write it, produce it, we'll take care of the money. And I was like, okay. And that's what happened. He got together with some investors. they all said yes. They all said we're not taking our money out until she blows up. So they believed in me enough to say, let's make
Oh,
this happen. And Rodney's a numbers guy, the executive producer, numbers guy. So they all got together along with the other investors, and it's been a rocking ship. So COVID hit in 2020.
right.
We were supposed to do it in November of 2020.
Okay.
And we had to change the date. So in
So,
November, I think it's like the summer of 2020, we asked the theater that we're doing it now if we could change the date. So I just said, what's the in August to do my birthday month? I'll be 50 years old this year. So the only Saturday that was near my birthday was August 21st, 2021. I was like, God, look at these 21. So it just
wow.
felt
Okay.
good.
Uh-huh.
It felt good. It felt right. And I pretty much knew who my cast was. We did a couple casting calls, and it's been amazing. The cast loved the play. They like, oh my God, Miss Netta, that's the one. Like, what about other plays y'all was in? But they loved it. I loved it. I enjoyed writing it, and even with having some outside people come in our rehearsals to give us some feedback, like what works, what doesn't work, they made it even better. So, just super excited about this production, man. Super excited.
As you should be. I want to lean in a little bit on what you talked about in terms of the support. First, I want to salute Rodney, your husband, for being so supportive and being behind you and finding the financing that you needed for the production. So talk about, as creatives, that's one of the biggest challenges is finding
Mhm.
support. So talk about this. I'm gonna give you a chance to love on your husband real quick. Talk about how much or how's it feel to have your husband be your production partner in this particular production.
So if I could be transparent, so I've been writing forever. So when first got married, we got married in 93. And in 95, I had Sarinthia, and we both were in college when I got pregnant. And he told me, he said, listen, I want to get my degree. He was right about to graduate from Morris Brown, and he wanted to go on to get his degree in psychology, all of that. And so he said, if you let me go back to school, you stay home with the baby. And I wanted to be with my baby, and he wanted me to be home with her.
Mhm.
He said, once I get my degree, I'll come back. Let you go to school then. And I was like, okay, cool. So by that time I had started writing. He got 1,000,000 degrees. So I started writing, and then we got to the church. I had the daycare. So me going back to school, I was like, I'd rather pursue the writing thing. And he said, okay, whatever you want to do, I'm done with what I'm doing right now until I start working on my doctorate. Now we're in a place where you can go back to school. And I didn't want to go back. I wanted to continue the writing. And so as I did the plays, he always allowed me the space to do it, but his hands wasn't in it.
Okay.
He was just like, whatever you want to do, okay. But he wasn't hands-on. He wasn't at rehearsals. He was none of what he's doing now. And so I wanted to say that as well, even though he allowed me to do it. This was the first time. That's why it was so shocking to me that it happened, because he never had his hands. I was always either with his brother, figuring stuff out, or, my friend Phyllis, stuff like that. So it was never Rodney in the midst. Rodney was the sound guy. That was it.
Okay.
And so for Rodney to be one of the executive producers, that's what the people who put the money in there, those
Absolutely.
everybody that put the money in there. I didn't know that though. But Tabor's my executive, you know what I mean? But they are also
But he actually he found the funding for it. So
right, he found and I've been with Tabor forever, so like 6-7 years, and he got with the other people, and it was just amazing. It was amazing because I never saw him say, look, this is what we're gonna do. I got you. He always got me as far as household bills. He always had me as far as, okay, what you need. You don't have to work. This is what you're doing. Until you succeed in this, don't do anything. And even in our struggle, I would find little stuff to do on the side. Like I started publishing books. I know you knew about that. And then like recently with the company that I am a partner with, even with that now bringing money in, it's like still you ain't got to pay no bills. Put that aside for this. So we're getting out of debt and stuff like that. Awesome. So for him to say, hey, Ned, we're going to do this. I'm not gonna cry, Kenny, but you know me. But I knew he believed in me. I knew everybody who said they believed in me. I felt they believed in me. But it wasn't until he said, "Let me take this horse by the reins, and I'm gonna run this." And it's like, okay, you gonna run it? I'm gonna run it. I got this. And he said, "Don't worry about the household. That's not your responsibility. I got it." And so for him to do that, and for him to believe enough to take the risk, because the investors could have said no. We had other investors that said no. You know what I mean? So that would have been the first time we went to see a lot of people. Me and Tabor did, and Reggie too. And so, not a lot of people, but enough to. I was like, I don't want no more. No.
Hey man,
I was done with no. And so when he finally, not finally, I didn't expect it, but when he did that, I was awestruck as I am now. And he called the meetings. They have the investor meetings, and they respect him, they honor him, and they do whatever it takes to do to make this production happen. And everybody has sacrificed so much. I mean, like one of my Tabor, when I say everybody has done a lot, but like he was like, okay, we need to build a pay. Let's pay the builder. You know what I'm saying? So he connected with the right people who had a heart, who saw my vision, who want to make it happen. And Tabor's like, we ain't falling with this one. He got it. You know what I'm saying? Reggie, we got it. Katrisa, we got it. Rodney, we got it. Let's go.
Awesome.
So we're going. Hey. And God has connected us with so many people, city officials, all on board.
Incredible.
I mean, yeah, it's crazy. I didn't expect none of this. And I'm so grateful. I'm grateful that that I got the no's, and now I have this yes. And when God says yes, it don't matter what anybody says, it's going to happen. And I'm appreciative to God for my husband's support. I really am.
Well, first, let's salute to Rodney, man. That's incredible.
I don't hear nobody clapping. You don't have no applause button, kid?
Yeah, I need an applause button. I have to get that for next time. But yeah, salute to him for just getting behind you. And I think that the other thing is that this is just a byproduct of the work that you've put in. Like you put in the work, you've got a resume, you've got, catalog of all these books, you got a resume of all these productions. And I just think that this is just all of the hard work, all of the dedication is all coming to fruition right now. And it's just, I'm really excited for you.
Thank you, God. And I'm so grateful. And ironically enough, I started writing in 2001. And this is the 20th year.
Years.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Yes, sir. I just celebrated 20 years, 25 books. I don't know how many plays. And I've done work for other people, written other people's stuff, and directed other people's plays, and made their, dreams come true as well. So I believe it is time. I believe there is seed, there is time, but then there's harvest, man. And I'm so grateful that I never quit. Like I wanted to quit, but they wouldn't let me quit, So
it's as a creative, that's part of that's one of the things that happens, is that you get discouraged or you get frustrated, you get tired, or you don't feel like you're not getting the support that you were supposed to get, or people are not feeling the work that you're putting out. So the fact of the matter is that you stayed the course and that you didn't give up, that this is your time. So listen, let's talk real quick. Give a quick preview without giving away too much, because we want people to go out there and check it out. But give a synopsis of what Danger Zone is about. So
I guess the whole premise or the bottom line of the play, and I start off like this. Just imagine me, you, Rhonda, and somebody else, Rena. We're all best friends, and we know each other. We've known each other over 20 years, right?
Absolutely.
And one day we find out that one of us is not who we said we are. Can you imagine how devastating that would be to find out that your cousin Rhonda is not, like, I've been knowing you all my life. How are you not this person? But deception and betrayal, seem like to take upon a life of its own. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what happened with these four friends. We find out, but we don't know which one is not, because everybody seems like they the real. You know what I mean? On the surface. but then we allow the audience to have some discernment, or they have a peek into, oh, this is happening, while the others don't know. You know what I mean? But when it comes out, and you know me, I'm twists and turns, and
Yeah.
yeah. So we find out how deep deception can go, to the point where you don't know if you the person or not. You know?
For sure. Listen, I got my Denzel on in one of in one of the productions. She had me as like a long lost father. You remember that play that
Oh
we
God, when
did?
Sharice was in, I did.
Yeah,
You was in
yeah,
that,
yeah.
Jenny. I remember.
So
Oh
I remember when
wow.
you said those twists and turns, that just reminded me of that play that we did at the conference one year. You dog good for those twists
Y'all
and
killed
turns.
me. But Sharice at the
She
end,
did.
man,
She
them
did.
vocals,
She did. Man.
amazing.
So
Amazing.
I know this danger zone is going to definitely take the audience on a ride. So
Oh
it's going to
yeah.
be a
Oh,
lot of
get
fun
ready. Dude, just when you think you got it all figured out, here I go again.
for
Yeah.
sure. So let's kind of inspire and let's do a little moment of inspiration because we've been talking about you talked about your path and how you just built up this career and built up all this catalog and built up this resume and you have this production. Talk to somebody who talk to a creative person. They may not be a writer or author. They just may be a singer. They may be a songwriter. They whatever creative space. Talk about um, give them some encouraging words in terms of staying the course and just giving them encouragement in terms of staying the path and being a creative person.
Basically, my thing still is, if you wake up every morning and it still taps you on the shoulder, you wake up every morning and it's still like you can't release it, you quit, and every time you quit, it's right there tapping you on the shoulder. Don't give up on it.
Yes,
Don't
yes,
give up on it. Like, it's not an easy task to believe in something, and you see a gift, and you see how amazing it is to you, because we try to be like, oh, you think it's good, if you can sing, if you can write, whatever it is that you do, what other people say you do it well. And a lot of times the people who are ultimately gifted are those who didn't go to school for it, those who didn't actually, what I'm saying,
that's true.
go to a music lesson, but can play the heck out of a B3.
For
You know what
sure.
I'm saying? Like, I
For
ain't never,
sure.
you play drums, you know what I'm saying? We didn't go to school to play drums. We just got on there. We just had the rhythm. You know what I mean? So my encouragement is just don't stop. Don't stop and be faithful. Don't just be faithful over what you do, though. Be faithful over other people's stuff. If you're a part of an organization, if you're part of a church or a
That's
business,
good.
always give 100% of yourself. Like in my churches, and it's different in Living Faith where I am now, because like I don't have to clean the toilets there, but if I did, I would. So they have janitorial services. When I came there, I had to lead devotion because they had a worship team. You know what I mean? I had to play the drums, even though I did play a couple times because they had musicians. But like in the other churches, like I was cleaning toilets, you know what I mean, for years. And I didn't grab. I knew on Saturday the church had to be clean. We opened the doors of the church. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Rodney was the gatesman. You know what I'm saying? He cut the grass. He was over the brothers. He did.
Mm-hmm.
We served.
Yes.
Faith, you can ask
Yes.
Pastor Payton. We served
Yes.
all of our pastors. Pastor Payton, Pastor Marsh. We served, gave our all, paid our tithes,
Yes.
and our offering, was there on time to service, and went to with our pastor. That's what we were taught to do, and that's what we did. So even if you don't go to church, if it's just your job, do what you go over and beyond. Don't wait for them to ask you to do whatever. Some of them, why you do that? Why you? It just pays to do your best. Go over it. It doesn't hurt to do your best, and if you go over and beyond, that's just a little bit extra on your tab when you get it. So my thing is, be faithful. Always be faithful. Always be faithful. If they'll never say your name, be faithful. Do it, everything as unto the Lord. Everything I do for my church, for my home, I do it as unto the Lord. I do it as unto the Lord. When I don't want to do it, I still do it as unto the Lord. You know what I'm saying?
That's huge. So tell my audience, tell anybody that's watching how they can get tickets to the play, the dates and the times, in which they can check it out?
The play will be August 21st. We have a 4 o'clock show and 8 o'clock show. We have VIP tickets for the side seats in the 4 o'clock show, but we have VIP tickets for the whole theater at the 8 o'clock show. You can get the tickets from Eventbrite. Just look up Danger Zone, or you can go to my website, thereadywriter.com, and you can purchase the tickets there as well.
Great. So as we get ready to wrap up, tell my audience how you gave your website. Shout out your social media information and how they can follow you and how to connect to you.
You can follow me on Instagram, Annetta T. Swift, my name. You can follow me on, I don't do Twitter, but I got a Twitter. I don't even know. I be on Twitter like, what? Never mind. But
So we'll stay with Instagram.
Okay, Instagram, Annetta T. Swift. I do have Bully Me Not Foundation on Instagram as well. On Facebook, same thing, Annetta Swift. Just look me up. I'm there.
Cool. And you mentioned Bully Me Not. Tell my audience real quick what the work you're doing with that.
Well, we just basically, our goal is to raise awareness in schools, churches, wherever people are, wherever children are, adults, we can have bullying. So we just raise awareness and offer hope, and let people know if you don't say anything, nothing will be said. So you have to speak up for yourself and speak out. So that's basically our goal, is to save a life, keep a child from getting beat up. A lot of people are like, everybody gonna bully, but we don't have to have kids taking their lives and stuff like that. So we want to serve as a voice for them and offer tools and stuff to open up dialogue with the parents or the educators and the children.
Great. And to my audience, if you want to check out, she was on with me. We talked more in depth about it. So if you want to hear some more information about it, just go to and check out the Focus on the Kids episode of the Any Key Radio Show, wherever you listen to podcasts, and you can get some more information and learn some more about that great work that she's doing on anti-bullying. So listen, Annetta, as we get ready to come to a close here, I just want to say how super proud I am, how excited I am for you. Actually, one more question. What's next?
So after we do this production, God allowed COVID to stay his hand away from us.
Second degree right now.
I shook over about it. Okay, I had to put little tongues in there and make that real, mix it up with that agreement. But next in the spring, we're going to do it again. I don't know where yet. So as it's set up with Rodney and them, as they have it set up, once we do this production in the spring, we're already ready to go. We just have to find a venue, and that's it. We already have the cast for it. We're just going to do it over again.
Okay.
Then after that, in the fall, while we're doing it in the spring, I will be writing after this play, Danger Zone 2. So there's a sequel.
Dope. So maybe you got to keep me posted on that date in the spring, because you jump in the car and make that drive.
That's a long drive, Kenny.
About 5 hours.
Oh, that's why you're in Florida now.
I'm in Florida now.
Yeah, not no more New York. Okay.
Yeah. So we could come see it in person. So listen, again, all of the best, much success with the play and with everything that you do. And also on a side note, real quick, I want to thank you for that referral for Paula Foster.
Okay.
She's helping me with the publishing of the book.
Really? She ain't told me nothing. I have a few people. You said they went to her. I got to call Paula. Hey, Paula.
Yeah, shout out to Paula. She's helped me with the book. I wrote a life story of myself and April that struggled to get to destiny. That's coming. So all my audience, stay tuned. It's coming. So she's working with me on that. So I want to thank you for that. Thank you for the referral. All the best with the production.
Thank you.
Everything that you have in the future. And thanks for being on the Any Key Radio Show.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. Thank you for helping support so we can get the word out.
Definitely.
I appreciate it.
All right, till next time.
All right. Bye, Kenny. Love you.
Love you back. That was Annetta Swift, and that's it for this episode of the Any Key Radio Show. I want to thank Annetta for joining me. If you have any questions, comments, would like to be a guest on the show, would like your products and services to be advertise and promote it on the show, send an email to kanmusicpub@gmail.com. Like and subscribe to the Coast to Coast Entertainment Network YouTube channel and Facebook channel so you can get alerts when new video episodes are available and to check out other shows on the network. You can become a patron on my Patreon page, which is www.patreon.com/ANYKNY to get access to exclusive ad-free audio, behind-the-scenes video, and show merchandise. Or you can order show merchandise at the online store, which is anyknyradioshow.threadless.com. Shout out to all my patrons and to those that have purchased show merchandise. I want to thank you for your support and to Coast Entertainment Network for hosting the show. You can connect to me on social media at Coach_ANYKENY on Twitter, TikTok, Clubhouse, and Instagram. And on my Facebook music page, which is Any Key Music, which is spelled capital ANY, capital KE, lowercase b, lowercase n, and capital Y. So until next time, remember, be positive on purpose. Peace.